Good afternoon and welcome back to more of The Longing, where today we're going to be reading yet more of Metamorphoses. So, let's get going with that. Page 29 out of 49. The enamoured deity pursues the chase, the scornful damsel shuns his loathed embrace. In hunting beasts of prey her youth employs, and Phoebe rivals in her rural joys. With naked neck she goes and shoulders bare, and with a fillet binds her flowing hair. By many suitors sought she mocks their pains, and still her vowed virginity maintains. Impatient of a yoke, the name of bride, she shuns and hates the joys she never tried. On wilds and woods she fixes her desire, nor knows what youth and kindly love inspire. Her father chides her oft. Thou oust, says he, a husband to find thyself, a son to me. She, like a crime, abhors the nuptial bed. She glows with blushes, and she hangs her head. Then casting round his neck her tender arms, soothes him with blandishments and filial charms. Give me, my lord, said she, to live and die, a spotless maid without the marriage tie. 'Tis but a small request. I beg no more than what Diana's father gave before. The good old sire was softened to consent, but said her wish would prove her punishment. For so much youth and so much beauty joined, opposed the state which her desires designed. The god of light aspiring to her bed, hopes what he seeks with flattering fancies fed, and is by his own oracles misled. And as in empty fields the stubble burns, or nightly travellers when day returns, their useless torches on dry hedges throw, that catch the flames and kindle all the row. So burns the god, consuming in desire, and feeding in his breast a fruitless fire. Her well-turned neck he viewed, her neck was bare, and on her shoulders her dishevelled hair. Oh, were it combed, said he, with what a grace would every waving curl become her face. He viewed her eyes like heavenly lamps that shone. He viewed her lips, too sweet to view alone. Her taper fingers and her panting breast. He raised all he sees, and for the rest believes the beauties yet unseen are best. Swift as the wind the damsel fled away, nor did for these alluring speeches stay. Stay, nymph, he cried, I follow not a foe. Thus from the lion trips the trembling doe. Thus from the wolf the frightened lamb removes, and from pursuing falcons fearful doves. Thou shunst a god, and shunst a god that loves. Ah, lest some thorn should pierce thy tender foot, or thou shouldst fall in flying my pursuit. To sharp uneven ways thy steps decline. Abate thy speed, and I will bate of mine. Yet think from whom thou dost so rashly fly, nor basely born, nor shepherd's swain am I. Perhaps thou know'st not my superior state, and from that ignorance proceeds thy hate. Me claros Delphi tenedus obey. These hands the Paterian sceptre sway. The king of gods begot me, what shall be, or is, or ever was, in fate I see. Mine is the invention of the charming lyre, sweet notes and heavenly numbers I inspire. Sure is my bow, unerring is my dart, but more deadly his who pierced my heart. Medicine is mine, what herbs and simples grow in fields and forests grow. Medicine is mine, what herbs and simples grow in fields and forests, all their powers I know, and am the great physician called below. Alas, that fields and forests can afford no remedies to heal their love-sick lord. To cure the pains of love no plant avails, and his own psychic the physician falls. She heard not half, so furiously she flies, and on her ear the imperfect accent dies. Fear gave her wings, and as she fled, the wind, increasing, spread her flowing hair behind, and left her legs and thighs exposed to view, which made the god more eager to pursue. The god was young, and was too hotly bent to lose his time in empty compliment, but led by love, and furred with such a sight, impetuously pursued his near delight. As when the impatient greyhound slipped from far, bounds o'er the glebe to course the fearful hare, she in her speed does all her safety lay, and he with double speed pursues the prey. O'erruns her at the sitting turn, and licks his chaps in vain, and blows upon the flicks. She scapes, and for the neighbouring covert strives, and gaining shelter doubts if yet she lives. If little things with great we may compare, such was the god, and such the flying fair. She urged by fear her feet did swiftly move, but he more swiftly who was urged by love. He gathers ground upon her in the chase, now breathes upon her hair with nearer pace, and just is fastening on the wished embrace. The nymph grew pale, and in a mortal fright, spent with the labour of so long a flight, and now despairing cast a mournful look upon the streams of her paternal brook. O help, she cried, in this extremest need, if water gods are deities indeed. Gape earth and this unhappy wretch entomb, or change my form whence all sorrows come. Scarce had she finished, when her feet she found benumbed with cold, and fastened to the ground. A filmy rind about her body grows, her hair to leaves, her arms extend to boughs. The nymph is all into a laurel gone, the smoothness of her skin remains alone. Yet Phoebus loves her still, and casting round her bowl his arms, some little warmth he found. The tree still panted in the unfinished part, not wholly vegetative, and heaved her heart. He fixed his lips upon the trembling rind, it swerved aside, and his embrace declined. To whom the god, because thou canst not be my mistress, I espouse thee for my tree. Be thou the prize of honour and renown, the deathless poet and the poem crown. Thou shalt the Roman festivals adorn, and, after poets, be by victors worn. Thou shalt, returning Caesar's triumph, grace, when pomps shall in a long procession pass, wreathed on the posts before his palace wait, and be the sacred guardian of the gate, secure from thunder and unharmed by Jove, unfading as the immortal powers above. And as the locks of Phoebus are unshorn, so shall perpetual green thy boughs adorn. The grateful tree was pleased with what he said, and shook the shady honours of her head. The transformation of Io into Hafer. An ancient forest in Thessalia grows, which Temp's pleasing valley does enclose. Through this the rapid Peneus take his course, from Pindus rolling with impetuous force. Mists from the river's mighty fall arise, and deadly damps enclose the cloudy skies. Perpetual fogs are hanging o'er the wood, and sounds of waters deaf the neighbourhood. Deep in a rocky cave he makes abode, a mansion proper for a mourning god. Here he gives audience in issuing out decrees to rivers his dependent deities. On this occasion hither they resort, to pay their homage and to make their court, all doubtful whether to congratulate his daughter's honour or lament her fate. Spercheius crowned with poplar first appears, then old Apidanus came crowned with years. Enippus turbulent, Amphissus tame, and Aias last with lagging waters came. Then of his kindred brooks a numerous throng condole his loss, and bring their urns along. Not one was wanting of the watery train that filled his flood or mingled with the main. But Inachus, who in his cave alone wept not another losses but his own, for his dear Io, whether strayed or dead, to him uncertain, doubtful tears he shed. He sought her through the world, but sought in vain, and nowhere finding, rather feared her slain. And with that, that is 10 minutes. We are going to leave that there once again. And I'm going to say thank you very much for joining me once more. We'll be back tomorrow with more of The Longing. I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night, no matter what time of day it is. I hope you have a wonderful one of it. Goodbye.